Hello, NUVHS Teachers. It's your friendly neighborhood manager of curriculum and instruction, Kimberly, with NUVHS News You Can Use. Today we're going to talk about podcasting. Here's some things we're going to talk about in more detail. Getting started. We're going to talk about the free software you need to download in order to make a podcast, getting the tools you need to make a podcast, writing a script, which is just something I kind of advise you to do. It certainly helps me out. And of course, creating visual aids to go along with your presentation, adding other enhancements like music and audio, editing all of it so it comes together, and of course loading it so everybody can see it. Pretty much everything you need in order to make a podcast is free. Now, it does depend on what kind of computer you have. If you have a PC, like an IBM, a Toshiba, a Compaq Presario, or something along those lines, you probably want to download the software called Audacity, and that's found at www.audacity.com. If you're a Mac user, you're going to use something called GarageBand. This is so you can record your voice. Both of these are great for this purpose and are really easy to use. Lame is the type of software that you're going to want to use to convert these audio files into MP3 format. In order to do a podcast, everything pretty much has to be converted into MP3 format, so you're going to want Lame, which really isn't lame. Haha. Okay, the other thing you're going to need is YouTube, which is a place where you can load your video, and that way not only can you store it there, but you can also get the codes you need in order to save it to your website. And just a fun little thing that I really like to use to enhance my podcast with, okay, of course this is only my second one, is Jamendo. Jamendo is a place where you can get free, unlicensed music. It's really great, and some of the tunes are kind of cool. The last thing you're going to need is Windows Movie Maker. If you have Windows, you should have this on your computer somewhere, so you might want to do a find file to see where that's at. Now you're also going to need some other tools. You're going to need a microphone or some way to record your voice. There are a couple different ways you can get that. You can use a standard microphone like I'm using right now. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or expensive. You can use an iPod if you have one of those. That certainly works out well. Some type of MP3 recorder. The last I checked, I saw Office Depot had some for about $30 that you can actually clip on to yourself and record. And the other thing you're going to need if you want to do any kind of visual with yourself is get one of those computer cameras. Those are always fun to use too. Now, this is only a suggestion. I suggest you write a script, a full script, so that way you know what it is you want to say. I am certainly reading from one right now. Otherwise, if you're really savvy, make some notes. What do you want people to know? This is just a way to help you do the audio in your podcast. Now, technically, a podcast is just an audio file. If you want to add any kind of enhancements to it, that's called an enhanced podcast. And that's when you throw in video, PowerPoints, or something along the lines of what we're doing right here, right now. A vodcast is a video added to a podcast. Here's an example of that. After you've made your presentation and know basically what it is you want to present, now is the time to add some audio. So now is where you want to open up your Audacity or your GarageBand and start recording some audio. You can use your own voice, you can throw in some music, or use some other MP3 file. You want to use things like iTunes or whatnot, you certainly can as well. One thing to keep in mind is you need to record and you need to save. Make sure you save. The great thing about both of these programs, that is Audacity and GarageBand, is you can edit all kinds of stuff in terms of your audio. If you say something you don't want, you can take it out, you can fade, you can make it louder, you can add all kinds of fun things. Definitely go in there and play around with these programs. They're a lot of fun. Now, I did mention earlier it is important to save. Try and save these files as MP3 files. This is where that Lame software comes in. When you try to save, it's going to ask you how you want to save it. Definitely choose MP3. It just makes life a lot easier for you. Once you got your presentation created, your audio files laid, and your music set up, now is the time to open up your Microsoft Movie Maker and start putting it all together. What you want to do is you want to save your PowerPoint slides to a JPEG format. That way you can easily pop in those slides and start playing around with your presentation in Microsoft Movie Maker. You can also add your audio files there or anything else you want to add to make your presentation even more spectacular. When you select and drop, you can adjust everything through sliders. You'll see that you'll get the double arrow mark when you want to adjust sound or if you want to adjust how long a slide is shown on your screen. Also, don't forget to save. Saving is very important. You want to make sure you save your work. You don't want to lose it. Now, once you've got everything done and it looks the way you want it to look and sounds the way you want it to sound, I'd go ahead and load it up on YouTube. That way, when you load it on YouTube, you can share it through YouTube, or what YouTube will do is they will give you the HTML code for that movie, so you can post that on your website, on your blog, you can post it on your wiki space if you have one, and all that good stuff. Well, I hope this was somewhat helpful. This is the end of our presentation. What I would like for you guys to do is try making one yourself. You know, if you want to put some in your classes at NUVHS, I'd love to put some podcasts of you guys in your own classes. I think that would be awesome. It's really easy to do. You can create these podcasts just when you're teaching in your regular classrooms. It's really easy to do. Just record yourself as you're doing a regular old lesson, and you can add and take out things and do what you need to do to make it special for your online students. Alright guys, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week and we'll be in touch. Bye.